Hey guys, it's Brendan. In this episode, I'm going to take on one of your biggest questions that I get, which is, Brendan, tell us how you do your social media. And honestly, I don't think I've ever shot a video just on this little piece of it here, because usually it's not my focus. I teach all the marketing stuff, and everything I do in the professional world is in terms of writing books, or doing online courses, or teaching seminars, or online marketing, in terms of sharing content and getting paid for it. That's all through a program I do called Experts Academy. You can look it up. Most Experts Academy graduates, are the legends and leaders today in the thought leadership field, from New York Times bestselling authors to major bloggers, YouTubers, huge guys doing online marketing and launches. But I usually don't emphasize a whole lot about social media, but let me just share a little bit about it today to give context. I'm gonna give you 4 quick ideas of some simple things you can do to get better at it, and ultimately, hopefully, get a little more following behind what you're doing, because I'm sure you're trying to share something with the world that you find beautiful or impactful or important or meaningful. If you aren't, there's your problem. So I hope you're starting there. But a couple of simple ideas. Number 1 is, to get a big following, you have to read every day. I wake up in the morning personally and I read inspiring things. I'll read some Emerson. I'll read a lot of philosophy about life. I'll read some narratives or biographies of people who inspire me. I get my mind in the morning, whether it's on poetry or philosophy or political figure, something that inspires me to be thinking in a bigger way. That's what I do every day. And I think your following ultimately comes from how big your thinking is. If you're just micromanaging and living in one little world, as much as they want to teach you to be a niche marketer, no, we want you to be a thought leader. There's a big difference. Are you a niche marketer or are you a thought leader? And I choose thought leadership, and I think it's valuable. I think it's important for you to be broadening your own mindset, your own philosophy about life or business or career or whatever it is your topic is, and be broadening that by reading more in that area, because reading more will make you more creative. And you already know, readers are leaders, leaders are readers. And so you got to be reading things that digest in your mind, that all suddenly will come out in a creative thought or a creative act, and it's those creative thoughts and acts get you followed online. I never imagined where we'd be today. As I'm shooting this video, we've got, 2.7 million followers on Facebook alone? And that's just on my personal branded page. I own a bunch of other Facebook pages that collectively have over 8 million likes. So, I got about 10 million likes out there running for us today, and that all came from this perspective about creativity. You got to have it. I mean, we got more followers today than a Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or a Richard Branson. I mean, this is no joke. And that just comes because I do it every day. And I think that's really important. That leads to number 2. You need to create something unique every day. Why? Because creators are the people who are followed. And so that could be for you today. You're just walking around and you create something. You take a picture of something, you design it, you put a good quote on it. Or maybe you see something beautiful, you take a snap of that and talk about it. Or maybe you just write a post, something every day. And it's not for the followership. I don't create something every day for you guys, even though it might appear that way. I do it also for my own personal development. It's in the act of creating that genius comes out, almost by accident. You don't sit down and go, I'm gonna have a genius thought today. It's not how this works. You sit down and you create, and it's in the moments of creation that suddenly things come out that later on are defined as genius. But read everything you can about great writers in history, and you'll see the same story again and again and again. They didn't wait for inspiration to strike. They sat down at a certain time, and they had discipline to do it every day. It's by being in that space that the great words came out. Same thing with the great filmmakers. They're getting out there. They're on production. You might turn this video off here today, but I guarantee you, as soon as you turn it off, I'm out there thinking, creating, coming up with the next thing. And it's in that constant motion of creation that you will become prolific enough to then not only be able to create on demand, but to create that followership. Because followership comes from being prolific. And you got to do something every day to keep your personal growth going, to keep in this space. Now, it doesn't mean you have to post every day. That might not be your thing. But you could create something every day and store it up and then release it. But it's from that content library that you will build your following. I know you know this, but I think it's one of the things that made us different. I would say another thing is that you want to create things to be multi-purpose. From this video, we might pull a couple quotes that I said, put them on some images, post it all over. I might use the audio of this video and post that on my podcast. I might take the transcripts from all this and post that as a full blog post, across multiple things, whether at my Huffington Post blog or my personal blog or my LinkedIn blog. I'll post it all over the place from this one thing, from this one episode that we're doing. I'll put it out in lots of different chunks and pieces all over the place. And so I'm really only doing one action, but from that one action, we pull a lot of content to be used in different places. And instead of having a single use episode, like if I just shot this and posted it wherever you're watching it, by putting it all these other places, it's multi-purpose, multi-use, and that starts building a followership in lots of different mediums. I know you get that, but the challenge is a lot of people won't do it consistent enough. I do these shows at least every week, and by doing the show every week, it gives us things to multi-purpose all week. You see, we're drawing from it. People are like, how do you create this stuff every day? I'm not necessarily on my Facebook, I'll post 4 times a day. I'm not always creating it original each time, all 4 times. Maybe one new thing is original each day, and the other 3 are repurposed from something else I did weeks ago, months ago, somewhere else like that. That makes sense. I'm building up that library. And yes, I do 100% of all my posts on Facebook. So if you've seen my posts on Facebook, that's me. I created that. I shaped that. I uploaded that. No one has access to my Facebook page to go and post something. I do that, And now I'm developing, as I'm building up and getting more and more followerships around the world, I'm having other people who are going back into my content now and building new cards and building new things for me because I built it once. Someone can go back and build it again and maybe change the picture, change the image, change the font, and we'll put those up. And I think that's been giving us a lot of, growth behind that as well. And I think another part about it is just staying at it. I don't know if you're just meeting me now, but I've been doing a weekly email out to my email list since 2006, every week. So if you look at the people who are the most followed, they're the most prolific. Now there's some people who come on and bam, they make a big splash and they got lucky, they have their 15 minutes and they're amazing and they got tens of millions and that's awesome. But you look at the people who have the big following, they've been working at it. Even the musicians. You look at the Lady Gagas and the Katy Perrys, they've been busting their ass for a long time. Now it seems like they have this sudden success, but they've been working every day. Like true artists, true creators, they were doing it before the following. The following came from their creativity and their work and their endurance, their consistency, not the other way around. It's not like they got a big following and like, ooh, I better work now. It's like, no, they've been working and now they're getting rewarded for it. So you gotta stay consistent. And by staying consistent, you get better. I do all my videos, 0 notes, no teleprompter, no script. We just go. We got a plane flying over, I'm sure you can hear. I just go. And that comes from the ability of just doing it over and over and over and over again. You got to stay consistent and be there. Last piece, and I know these are so basic, but I hope it's serving you in some way, is do this with heart. You can't survive doing this if your art isn't real, if your heart isn't in the work, because you won't get up in the morning and be motivated for it. You won't be excited about it. You have to have at the base of all that you're posting, if people can tell that you care, you'll be followed. If people can tell that you care about values and humanity and the philosophy of living a good life and taking care of other people, respecting other people, you'll be followed. You could become a caustic hater and maybe you'll gather a couple people, but you're never gonna get millions of people. And if you do, you'll burn out your soul because nobody wants to live a life where they're just criticizing and being a jerk. Be the positive thought leader in whatever you do. Be the most caring. Be the most consistent. Be the person who shows up. And if you'll just show up every day with the intention to capture one unique moment, one unique lesson, one unique story, one unique quote, one unique picture, one unique video, whatever it is for you and your favorite medium, capture one thing every single day. You'll be fully energized with your life because life won't just be work anymore. It's art. And now you find a new level of energy and engagement and enthusiasm. You'll have what we call the charged life. Hey guys, it's Brendan. Did you like this episode? If you did, you can do 3 things right now to continue your journey. First, you can subscribe right here to my channel, which I hope you will, so I can keep sending you videos on a weekly basis to change your life. Second, you can get my brand new book for free by clicking the link right here. And third, you can also go to my website, sign up for my newsletter so that I can send you free offers, free products, free programs, updates on my events, new podcasts, and everything else that we don't do on this channel here. If you'd like to do that, just go ahead and click any of these buttons you see right here. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, go out there every single day of your life, live fully, love openly, and make your difference today.